Today we're honored to welcome a very special guest, Sensei Sato, one of the leading Aikido instructors in the world. Sato Shihan, 7th Dan, is the founder and chief instructor of the Aikido World Alliance. Sato Shihan and several dedicated dojo and students started the organization in 2005. Under his leadership, the AWA has grown to more than 50 dojo worldwide and is one of only a few US-based Aikido associations directly affiliated with the Aikikan Foundation, Aikido World Headquarters in Tokyo, Japan. How did you start practicing Aikido and what attracted you to it?
I had gone to Japan for the first time. My ancestors lived there, so I wanted to understand my background. And I came back wanting to do something to keep my own culture living in the US. And some people recommended Aikido, and at the time my teacher offered one free trial lesson. I took the free trial lesson and signed up after class, never left. That was in 1977.
So it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the most important lesson you've learned through your years of practice?
That life is difficult, but not impossible to achieve some goals if you try. That's the part of the practice we have. We throw, we fall down, we get up, we fall down, we get up. So a mental mindset to learn to always keep trying. That it might take more years than you want, but you can do something if you keep trying.
And what does Aikido mean to you? Is it martial art, a path of spiritual growth, a philosophy, or something else?
I think Aikido and martial arts in general, many people start because of the physicality of it. They're young, they like to throw, get thrown. But I think Aikido is a very multi-dimensional. You can be very physical about it, you can be very spiritual about it, but also I think some of the benefits you get from that is to find your strengths and your weaknesses. To me, that's what Aikido reveals in all of us. Some of the things I also like about Aikido is that you can practice till you're 80, 90 years old. You might not be fast, but you can practice. You don't see many MMA practitioners or BJJ or boxers practicing their art when they're 75 or 80.
You mentioned actually those other martial arts. What would you say to people who think Aikido is not effective in real life situations?
Again, Aikido is multidimensional. It's different from other arts in one sense that karate or boxing or taekwondo, they're very linear, straight back and forth. The mindset of Aikido is learning to give away to get your way, to learn to work with people, to try to understand what the conflict is and work with it rather than try to bull through it. I think that's the major difference between Aikido and other arts. That being said, it does have a bad reputation when it's seen on YouTube, but it does have its strength and it can be a deadly martial art, but it takes a lot longer practice to, I think, master some of the deeper principles of Aikido versus just a straight punch or kick. Not saying that those aren't hard either, but circular thinking is different.
And how do you see the development of Aikido around the world today?
It's not as popular as it maybe once was back in the 70s when everybody wanted to do martial arts, but I think it has its place within the world given martial arts. It offers something for everybody. For the young, it offers discipline, it offers physicality. For the middle-aged and old, you can keep practicing and still go to work the next day or function. And you refine your technique. You use less energy, you do less movements. I think there's always something to be learned. It's a lesson just very similar to learning piano or how to cook. You want to get better. I think all the martial arts, including Aikido, offer that possibility as a vehicle to get better at things.
And what are your impressions of Aikido practice in Bulgaria?
Very serious. In the U.S., I think people are too easygoing. Yeah, I think here in Bulgaria, it's taken very seriously. Life is tough here, and they find a big release when they practice here. They also find some inspiration, but they're very disciplined about their practice here, and that's very, very nice to see.
And yet, is there something that you believe Bulgarian Aikido could work on or improve?
I would say not just Bulgarians, Japanese, Americans, French, Italian. We can always work towards bettering our craft, bettering ourselves as a person. And the vehicle we decide to use happens to be Aikido, not just watching TV. So whatever discipline you take, the more you practice, the more refined, the better you'll get at it. So not only in Bulgaria, but I think everybody can always improve. If we have that attitude, it helps.
And what is the most important quality you look for in a student?
Are they willing to try and not give up? Some people, it comes very easy, so I see after 6 months or a year, they stop because it's too easy. They can see it one time and do it. We like people that are considered slow learners. They struggle with it, but they don't give up. They keep practicing and practicing together. So I think when things come easy, you take it for granted. And then when you hit a wall, you just say, I quit and move on. But people that have to work for something, it's more value to them, so they'll stay with it longer.
And you personally, what inspires you to continue teaching?
As a teacher, my role is different than just my personal training. Okay, but as a teacher, what inspires me most is when I see somebody get it. They see that they can do it. They see that ability and possibilities in themselves to grow, to master Aikido. That is very rewarding as a teacher.
And how has your approach to teaching changed over the years?
Some people will say I'm too slow and too old now. I will be 75 in another week. But my job is to make sure Aikido is accessible to as many people as possible, not just the gifted athletes, but the older person, the younger child. They all have different ways of understanding and learning, so I have to adjust how I learn and how I teach to people. I can't do one size fits all. So I think that's how my teaching has changed a lot. I want to be able to pass on my Aikido to as many people as possible, not just the old or not just the young, but everybody.
What are the most common mistakes beginners make and how they can avoid them?
We are our own worst critics. If we don't get it right away on the second or third try, we get very frustrated instead of just taking our time. Men especially tend to try to just rush through things and use their muscle. It doesn't make it better. So I think females grasp the deeper principles of Aikido faster because they're not as physically strong as men, so they have to make it work. So in my mind, your practice needs to be steady and focused, not so much rushed and physical.
So what is your purpose, the purpose of your visit to Varna?
I was invited here to teach at one of our affiliated schools. We are a worldwide organization affiliated to the Hombu Dojo, the main parent company, if you want to call it, in Japan. And I've been coming here since 2000, so 25 years now. I've been coming, sharing my Aikido with the many people here and sharing a lot of friendship. It's not just on the mat, but learning cultural differences and that we're actually all pretty much the same once we get past our hesitation of well, she looks different, he talks different. I think Aikido is a great bridge or neutralizer so that we learn to communicate not through words or not through looks, but through a movement. And then the walls go down and we get closer to each other. So for me, visiting Bulgaria is great. It's been one of my greatest experiences in my life is traveling.
And do you plan to hold more seminars or events in Bulgaria?
As long as I can keep traveling, I will keep coming.
That's great to hear. And what are some of your upcoming projects, and what would you like to leave as your legacy?
I don't know about legacy, but some of the upcoming projects are to start to do bridge seminars with other organizational teachers. I just went to Argentina for the first time to share my Aikido with the Argentina group. And that teacher and I will come to Bulgaria next June to do a joint seminar here. So we will be sharing Bulgarian Aikido, Japanese American Aikido, and Japanese Argentinian Aikido. So it will be very interesting.